The Lord of the Chronos Lock, decoding the Saturnian frequency of Archon Athoth. To map the complete structural design of the material prison, the waking spirit must eventually look past the immediate lunar processing stations and confront the supreme outer boundary of the planetary gears. Within the deeper cartography of Gnostic cosmology, specifically detailed in the ancient codices of the Apocryphon of John, this outermost perimeter of the lower heavens is governed by the firstborn power of the Demiurge. Known textually as Archon Athoth, this formidable entity stands as the grim prime minister of the Archonic administration, holding dominion over the first and most restrictive planetary sphere, Saturn. While lower administrators manage immediate emotional triggers and localized memory resets, Athoth functions as the heavy cosmic anchor that establishes the very foundations of the simulation: linear time, material density, and the illusion of karmic debt. Operating from the threshold of this outermost heavenly gate, Athoth executes his mission by serving as the ultimate gatekeeper of time, or Chronos. His primary systemic function is to ensure that human consciousness remains trapped within a closed, horizontal loop of past and future. Athoth represents the cold, unyielding principle of limitation, structure, and false cosmic law. Within the architecture of the Matrix, this ruler weaves the fundamental fabric of linear time that actively prevents the human avatar from experiencing the eternal, uncreated now of the true source. By keeping humanity perpetually bound to the anxieties of tomorrow and the heavy guilt of yesterday, the Saturnian frequency creates an insurmountable psychological wall that locks the spirit into a dense state of survival consciousness. Beyond the manipulation of temporal loops, the execution script of Archon Athoth relies heavily on the manifestation of the Saturnian rings. Metaphysically, these rings function as a massive electromagnetic broadcasting system, a cosmic transmission grid that projects the frequency of material limitation directly into the lower astral planes and the human nervous system. This transmission acts as a densifying agent, constantly compressing human awareness so that the spirit perceives only what can be measured, judged, and restricted. It is the frequency of absolute material gravity, designed to make the artificial simulation feel so intensely real and heavy that the sovereign soul completely forgets its weightless fluid origin within the uncreated realms of the pleroma. Furthermore, Athoth specializes in the maintenance of the ultimate control script, the illusion of the cosmic judge. This ruler presents himself not as a chaotic demon, but as the supreme architect of law, order, and cosmic justice. He is the overseer of the ledger of debts, convincing transitioning souls that they are bound by a cosmic contract to repay their karmic mistakes through repeated cycles of earthly suffering. This weaponization of guilt is the primary tool used to make spirits voluntarily accept their own re-imprisonment. By presenting a counterfeit system of cosmic morality, the grim Lord of Saturn ensures that even the most well-meaning souls willingly submit to the recycling loops, mistaking the heavy chains of archonic law for the path of spiritual evolution. The web of the Grand Arbiter. How Athoth manages the slaves of time. To fully comprehend the depth of the Saturnian trap, one must examine the specific deceptive methodologies Archon Athoth employs to manage and pacify human consciousness. Athoth does not rule through chaotic terrorism. Rather, he operates as a master bureaucrat of the spirit. His deception relies on convincing the immortal soul that its captivity is actually a voluntary, noble journey of spiritual education. By dressing the bars of the prison in the vestments of divine justice, he ensures that the inmates actively police themselves, eliminating the need for overt, external force. The primary mechanism of this management strategy is the deception of the karmic ledger. When a spirit detaches from the lower matrix systems and ascends to the Saturnian perimeter, it does not meet a monster, it meets the Grand Arbiter. Athoth projects a holographic courtroom environment where he displays the soul's entire life history, meticulously highlighting every mistake, every piece of unhealed trauma, and every perceived failure. He then introduces a counterfeit spiritual contract, explaining that to balance the scales and achieve true enlightenment, the soul must return to the physical plane to pay off its cosmic debt. This is a profound inversion of reality. The ledger is entirely rigged. The Matrix is designed to ensure that no biological avatar can ever live a life free of friction. By making the soul feel a deep sense of spiritual guilt, Athoth tricks the sovereign spirit into signing its own recommitment papers to the physical plane. In tandem with the karmic trap, Athoth manages humanity through the deception of institutional order. On the terrestrial plane, the Saturnian frequency manifests as an unnatural obsession with hierarchy, rigid structures, and blind obedience to external authority. Athoth programs the human ego to find a false sense of security within restrictive systems, whether they be dogmatic religions, rigid economic wheels, or unyielding societal expectations. He deceives humans into believing that freedom is found in compliance and that safety is found in limitation. By validating these artificial structures, humanity voluntarily hands over its creative, nonlinear sovereign power to the archonic elite, effectively transforming the human population into a self-regulating workforce that sustains the material matrix. To break free from Athoth's management protocols, a spirit must completely reject the concept of external spiritual judgment. The uncreated spark of the monad owes no debt to the material simulation or its blind architects. When the Saturnian courtroom manifests and the ledger of guilt is presented, the waking soul must recognize it as a clever piece of software designed to exploit empathy. By maintaining absolute inner sovereignty and realizing that true spirit is inherently whole and blameless, the soul dissolves the false contract. You do not argue with the judge. You simply realize the court has no jurisdiction over an immortal, uncreated being, stepping off the horizontal wheel of time entirely. Voice of Divine Truth, June 6, 2026.